Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to share a story with you. It's about something I think we all struggle with, sticking to our goals. In a small, quiet village, there lived a young man named Arav. Arav had a dream, a big one. He wanted to become a great writer. His mind was a whirlwind of brilliant ideas, and his heart was full of stories just waiting to be told. But there was a catch. Arav was a master of starting things, but a terrible finisher. He'd write 2 pages of a thrilling story one day, only to completely abandon it the next. He decided to start a journal to capture his thoughts, but after just 3 days, it was left on his desk, gathering dust. Weeks turned into months, and while his dream burned as brightly as ever, his efforts were scattered like pieces of an incomplete puzzle. One evening, feeling completely frustrated with his lack of progress, Arav walked down to the riverside. There, in the fading light, he saw an old man patiently carving intricate shapes onto a massive rock. The only tool he had was a small, simple chisel. Arav was amazed. How could such a tiny tool make any difference against such a hard, unyielding stone? Curiosity got the better of him, and he approached the old man. "Baba," he asked, "how long have you been working on this rock?" The old man looked up, a warm smile on his face, and replied, "Every day, for 1 hour, for the past 2 years." Arav was stunned. 2 years, with just that little chisel. He couldn't believe it. "Didn't you get tired? Didn't you lose hope?" he asked. The old man's eyes were gentle and wise. He looked at Arav and said, "Son, this chisel alone could never break the rock in one go. But my consistency, my daily effort, that is what makes the impossible possible. The rock doesn't change with one strike, but every single strike counts. It is not the force of one mighty blow, but the steady repetition of many that truly shapes it." Those words struck Arav deeper than the chisel ever struck the stone. He finally understood. It wasn't about grand gestures or bursts of inspiration. It was about showing up every single day, no matter how small the action felt. That night, Arav returned home with a new sense of purpose. He decided to test this power of consistency for himself. Instead of promising to write a whole chapter or a complete story, he made a simple, manageable promise. He would write just 1 page, every single day. No exceptions. The first few days were easy. The excitement of his new resolve carried him forward. But soon, the novelty wore off. There were days he felt tired, uninspired, and just plain lazy. The temptation to skip a day was strong, but then he would remember the old man at the river, patiently chipping away at the rock. He would picture that small chisel, making its tiny mark, again and again. And so, he would sit down and write his 1 page. Sometimes it was brilliant. Other times, it was just okay. But he always wrote it. Slowly, almost without him noticing, something magical began to happen. The pages started to pile up. 1 page became 10, then 50, then 100. His 1-page-a-day habit turned his scattered ideas into a coherent story. The characters he had imagined for so long began to feel real. The world he had built in his mind started to take shape on the paper. The daily practice wasn't just producing pages. It was sharpening his skills, refining his voice, and deepening his understanding of his craft. After a year of this steady, consistent effort, Arav held a finished manuscript in his hands. It was a complete novel, born not from a single burst of genius, but from 365 small acts of commitment. He had done it. He had become a writer. He had learned the most valuable lesson of all: that success is not an event. It's a process. It's the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. Just like the old man and his rock, Arav had shaped his dream into reality, 1 small, consistent strike at a time. So, whatever your dream is, whether it's learning an instrument, getting fit, or starting a business, remember Arav's story. Don't be discouraged if you don't see massive results overnight. Focus on the small, daily action. Focus on being consistent. Because it's the repetition of those small efforts that will ultimately carve the masterpiece of your life. Thanks so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content. I'll see you in the next one.